Can this $90 keyboard beat my $2,000 custom endgame keyboard? Let's stick around and find out. Hey, welcome back. This is BBT Tech, and today I will be reviewing and talking about a Hall Effect keyboard, and also comparing it to my TGR Jane V2, a keyboard that essentially got me into the custom keyboard hobby, as well as, finishing the hobby off for me once I acquired it. Just to speak of my TGR Jane V2, I have done a custom paint job on it, as well as getting a custom backplate, as well as changing some of the internals in this keyboard. I've added special foams in there that are not really commonly used in the keyboard scene. And yeah, ever since I got this keyboard and had it completed to my own preferences, I haven't had a reason to look at another keyboard until today. When I was playing some Counter-Strike 2 and Warzone a couple of weeks ago, and I noticed that I wasn't really myself. I'm someone who's super competitive, and I would consistently break the top 1,000 leaderboards on CS2, as well as qualifying for Wasau on a yearly basis with COD. And the only reason why I started looking again was, honestly, I started sucking. I was losing a lot of matches and 1v1s that I normally would never lose to, from slamming bots in the gulag to becoming that freaking bot. So you know what? I started looking for things to improve my gameplay, and there's not much for me to do, as I already have the best mice in the business. I have a 360 Hz OLED, as well as a PC that consistently reaches 300 plus FPS in Warzone and 600 plus in Counter-Strike. So what is next? Well, it's gotta be my keyboard, right? I can't be the one that's bad. So I looked into the hype of these Hall Effect switches, and I ended up purchasing this $90 EPOMAKER keyboard from Amazon. The keyboard aesthetics is honestly not bad looking, but also nothing really to bat an eye for. It's honestly just your generic white 65% RGB keyboard. The only real reason why you're buying this keyboard is for that 8K Hz performance and the Hall Effect switches. And here's where things get a little bit interesting. The Hall Effect switches utilize magnets and sensors to detect your actuation instead of a standard mechanical physical contact leaf that we see in most mechanical keyboard switches today. So the benefits is that there's virtually no debounce delay, as well as less wear and tear on the items in the keyboard, as there's no physical contact points where the switch could potentially fail at. And one of the key features that we can see in the software here today is that it has rapid trigger function. Since there is no contact point, you can set your own actuation and reset points through the driver. And I have mine tuned so the second I lift my finger even a tiny bit off at 0.1 millimeters, the key resets and I can actuate it again with the slightest depress without having to fully let go of the key and press it back down. So now you might be thinking, what does this benefit? Well, it's a super easy and fast way to counter-strike in a game like Counter-Strike or Valorant. Now on to the next tab. The second feature that I would love to use more often in Counter-Strike, but recently, I just found out that Snap Tap could get you banned on Counter-Strike, and I can't risk losing my skins, so I've been using it on Valorant. So this feature is called Snap Tap. Binding this on my strafe keys A and D, this creates an ultra-quick press and release motion that allows me to tap in and out of my movement on a dime with pixel-perfect control. This is great for games like Valorant, I would say Counter-Strike, but you don't want to get banned, that utilize these type of mechanics to rely on movement and precision shooting. As well, in the next tab over, you can create macros and add different layers on the keyboard, which you combine multiple keys to on the same switch, but activate only when you use the function button. Also, to note, if you love RGB, this keyboard also has that, and there are also a few lighting modes that you can play with, and download other custom settings from the Share tab here, which other users have shared their profiles with. This honestly makes it a very easy, friendly user experience, as maybe you might not know how to set up your keyboard properly in the most advantageous way, and you can just simply download it from someone who has spent the time to do so. No shame here. So now let's talk about the benefits of this keyboard. And for me, do I really need it? Honestly, yeah, this keyboard would make gaming easier. You get easier quality of life benefits from this keyboard, but if you can Counter-Strike fairly well, like I can on my Jane, I don't think it's all that worth it. And now you might be thinking, is this keyboard and the Hall Effect switch is a fad, maybe a scam or fake hype? Well, definitely not, but the performance difference is not as drastic as you would think it would be. If you already have the mechanics down, this may not be that much of an improvement for you, but if you're all about min-maxing and competing to your fullest potential, yes, just go ahead and buy a Hall Effect keyboard. If you're just a weekend warrior that's still competitive but enjoy the funner things in life, your custom keyboard is not holding you back. And after all that, let's take a deeper look into this keyboard. The switchers are quite smooth and the stock experience for the stabs is alright. Nothing like a little loop wouldn't fix, and you know what? Speaking about stabs, let's just get right into the sound test. Overall, this keyboard is coming in at a friendly price that would make it a great secondary keyboard for gaming or a main keyboard if gaming is all you really care about. And for $90 and the amount of customizability and special features such as a rapid trigger and snap tap, as well as the super easy to use software, this keyboard gets a 4 out of 5 considering its price point. Sure, there are some things that could be better such as the build quality, maybe typing feel and sound, but that's all user preferences as well. But it really doesn't get much better than this for this specific target audience. If you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to stick around with the subby and comment down below if you have any suggestions for me. This is BBT Tech, signing out.